Hello everybody, how is it going? And welcome to the stream. Today we are streaming Planet Zoo, and we are in Reginald State Zoo, the zoo we have been working on in our past few live streams. And today's plan is to build a fallow deer and badger habitat. And I'm super excited for how this is going to turn out. So if you were in the last live stream on Thursday, we built this habitat here, which is the Timberwolf's habitat, and it came out super amazing. I finished most of the detail work off stream, and I put that all in a time lapse for you guys on my YouTube channel. If you are interested in watching that, it is uploaded right now. But yeah, I can give you guys a quick little tour if you want to see it really quick. So this is our Timberwolf habitat, and I think it came out absolutely amazing. So if you were in the last live stream, you'll remember we discussed how we wanted it to be sort of like a ski lodge kind of look, and I think it absolutely came out that way. Pretty perfect. There's tons of stuff crammed into this big building, so let's go take a look at all of it. So the main thing, of course, is the Timberwolves, and they're here in this main entrance. And you can head in here, and there is a really cool pathway that is kind of enclosed in glass. And we decided to go ahead and do that since inside the habitat is like 32 degrees. In our heads, we were role-playing, saying that it would probably be glassed off so that the guests weren't freezing. Although in the game they are. I don't know how to separate the temperature like that, but this is where you can come in here and view the Timberwolves. Sometimes they come up here and play, but usually they hang out by this little river. You can see a couple of them in there right now swimming, which is super cute. We also have some restrooms over here. These are single stall restrooms, unisex restrooms, and you can get another view of a little bridge here, which they do like to cross, but like I said, they love to swim in that river. And you can come along here, and there's another exit or entrance you can take out here on this little balcony area, because, oh my goodness, one thing that we noticed when we were looking up pictures of like ski lodges and stuff is that they have a lot of balconies and a lot of overhangs and stuff like that, so we tried to incorporate a lot of that when we were building here. So you can come through here and see the Timberwolves, and over here is sort of the snowy part of the habitat. They do come up on these rocks sometimes, and it's pretty cool. And we also added some faux snow, you can see coming down from those pipes up there. I think that is super cool. I'm just going to keep the game paused right now. And then you can come out here. Around the corner here is the entertainment point, the education show thing. I haven't built this room yet because I was waiting to do the signs and stuff for it. So right now it's literally just an empty cement room with some seats in it. But I think it has a very cool view here. And the wolves, they do come up on top of this ledge, which is dope. And they play with this little thing here during the show. And out here, it's just a cute little seating area. Maybe people come and sit and wait for the show. And we have this dope ass park map. And I got this North America shape off of the Steam Workshop. I just looked up world map and it had a full one, and I just kind of separated it out. But then this is the entire park map that we are working with, so people can come and look. And there are stairs to head down that way, and there are stairs to head down over here as well. And if we were to head down, so say we go down these stairs, you can come over here, and this is a really cool seating area, nice and separated from the main path, where you can go to the Street Fox Coffee, maybe get something to eat, and come sit over here. We have this planter bed again with the wolves in it, and this down here is our cave view room, which you can go into to view the cave that is at the bottom of the habitat. If you go in this way, you can see here, you can come in and view the cave with the wolves in it, and we have the information board, which I still need to make my own information board to match the other ones. And maybe if we put something down in here, I didn't put like a habitat bed, maybe that will help them come into this cave a little bit more. And then we also have our Timberwolf video that discusses like who the wolves are and stuff like that. I stole that from the Busch Gardens website, but I thought it was perfect, so I squeezed that in there. And then you can come out this way. And this is probably my favorite part right here, is all this sitting area down here. I just feel like it's really quiet and cozy, so I would really love this if this were real, in real life. And over here we just have some information board about the conservation status. I forget what the word is, I think it's like the ION status. some more seating, and then here is the Street Fox coffee, and we added a Street Fox coffee here because in the last live stream somebody did the random facilities challenge, which is below the stream. You can see the menu of the conservation fund, and one of the things you can do is pay $3 donation and I'll do a random wheel to build a random facility in the park. Somebody did that last stream. We got a Street Fox coffee, so we built this for them. And it's just really simple. We have this like drink station here, another park map, and then in here I have an ATM and donation machine kind of hidden inside the condiment table, which I think is super cute. And then you can come up here, go up, up, and then over here is where we started. You can come in and view the main habitat area. There's also some informationals over here if people want to come and sit and see, because right now on the other side of this, if they were to sit here, very boring, but this is actually where we're going to be working today. So we'll come back to that in a second. So if we come back over here, if we were to go to the left, instead of going into the habitat like we did, which is all that over there, you can go into the Timber Treats, which is a restaurant we built. And this restaurant is supposed to be more of like a long-term restaurant instead of like a fast food, kind of like the Street Fox coffee is more of like a fast food Starbucks. This is more of like a sit-down restaurant that you would actually kind of spend like probably like 45 minutes in here eating. Yeah, so you come in here, we have one of the new restaurant pieces where you can see them all cooking and stuff in there. And then when they order their food, they can come over to this really cool seating area, which I wanted it to be very like dark woods and kind of intimate feeling, so that's what we have here. A lot of people are eating like ice cream and stuff, and there's another entrance here into the Timberwolf habitat, and then just a bunch of seats everywhere for people to sit and hang out. And we got to use those new cool glass etching pieces, which I think are super cool. I put the deer, and we have the two wolves since we're here, and then the bears as well since they will be near here. Yeah, super cool. It's not that busy right now, but usually there's a lot of people in here eating. But yeah, so that is what we worked on in the last live stream, and I worked on a little bit afterwards. There are a few things that I did off stream as well that are not related to this, and one of the biggest things is all this terrain work I did over here. I sort of worked on this mountain that we had. It wasn't that tall, so I did make it a little bit taller, sort of like in this area, but mostly I did a lot of trees, and we got some plants, some waterfall features over here to kind of give something as a backdrop, because I'm sort of kind of trying to block out some areas here. And so I kind of wanted to help build this. I thought it would help more sort of with future layouts and trying to figure out where to squeeze and put things. And also I threw in this transport ride. So the North America, or the Americas area of the park, is going to have this train that goes through it. So I tried squeezing it in to see if we can kind of get an idea of where it can go. So it stops here, and then it spins underneath the mountain, comes around through here around the back of the Great American Plains habitat, and then there is an entrance over here, temporary, because I'm not sure if this is where we're going to have it. So I put that there, and then just kind of connected it up just to kind of get it testing to see how I feel about it moving around the park like this. I definitely do like the way it looks from this part of the park when it comes through over here. I definitely think it looks super cool. And then I love it over here. If you were to be looking down here, you can see like it kind of goes, wraps around the mountain under the waterfall and then across it. And it looks really cool when the train comes across. And then I just kind of have it connecting back here. There's some more water features and stuff over here. There's still some terrain work that needs to be done. You can kind of see it's very choppy over here, but this is more so going to be the Arctic area. And then over here is more of the rainforest area. So I kind of just left it over here. Figured when we get to those parts of the park, we can nitpick it and stuff. And I also put some snow at the top of the mountain. I thought that was kind of a nice little sight line to see up there. So yeah, this is how our layout is looking now. Definitely starting to kind of wrap up this North America part of the Americas area. And the only things we have left to do are the deer habitat, which we're going to do today, deer and badger. We have to do the alligators and crocodiles, the bears, and that's it, isn't it? Deer, crocodile, and bears. Yes, that is all we have left to do. And they're going to go over here. This little blob I've kind of marked out over here is where I think the alligators will be, just because I kind of want them to be more on a flatter piece of land, similar to like sort of like a wetland area. So I figured down here would make more sense for that. We can kind of make it more of like a forested area with a little bit of like wetlands and stuff, probably from this river here, or this pond from the waterfall. And then over here, I think we're gonna have sort of kind of following this path here, maybe this area up here, the bottom of the waterfalls, and like this cliff is where the bears' habitat will be, because I definitely want them over here. And then today we're gonna be working on this hillside. So pretty much everything in front of this path here, and sort of up to this cliff here, and then maybe kind of capped off right over here, this little hillside is where the deer are going to go, and the badgers as well. Because the deer needs sort of a temperate grassland environment, and the badgers prefer more of a temperate taiga environment. So we're just going to do general temperate, and more at the top elevation it's going to be more of a taiga, a little bit more snow, maybe just a little bit of snow. And they're going to be on this hillside. So guests can go into the fallow deer habitat. Let's actually go look at the Zoopedia. I actually got the deer already, and I'm getting ready to go get the badgers to put them in the quarantine habitat too, so we can start researching before we actually put them in. But I went ahead and got the deer, and basically what I want to look at is, so guests can go into the deer habitat. Can they go into the badger? So they actually can't go into the badger habitat, so we might not be able to actually make sort of a walkthrough habitat, which kind of sucks. But I really wanted to do something that was sort of like a hiking trail maybe, and there's like a path up here, but maybe we won't be able to do that. But I definitely want this hillside to be sort of terraformed and stuff, so that the deer are kind of all hopping around and stuff. Because if we look at their requirements, let's take a look at it. So we actually got 2 males, and it recommends only 1, but I decided to get 2 just because I really love the way they look. And we turned off animal fighting, so it should be okay. And then we have 15 females. So it's a pretty decent amount of animals. So 15, 16, 17. If we look at 17, so it looks like we need about, we'll say 12,000 square feet to make sure that they're happy. So let me check if we were to kind of encompass this area. And actually, so they're going to need about 12,000 square feet. And the European badger, I'm not quite sure how many we're going to get. So it says 6 male, 6 female. We might get that many. So we'll say 12. We'll just round up to 12. For the badger, oh, this was the badger. So we get 12 badgers. They will need about 8,000. Let me write this down. So we're going to get 12 badgers, and they need 8,000 square feet. And then the deer, we were to put 17 in there. They need about 12,000. So 17 deer, they need 12,000 square feet. So I don't think that means that we need 20,000 square feet for them all to be happy. I think a 12,000 square foot habitat should be just about a good enough size for them. I think that should be good. So the deer need a grade 2. They need it to be about 4, let's say 4.2 feet in height. And then the badgers need a grade 2. So yeah, so a grade 2 for the deer. So the deer's habitat should be perfect enough for the badgers, basically what that means. So we can go ahead and let's I guess map out this area and see what we are working with. Let me actually select most of these trees, and we are going to delete them. We don't want to grab all those rocks, just so that we can have a clear view of the area, because we can always put them back. Something like that. And I think the bears shouldn't be able to get up this cliff because of the elevation, so I don't think we'll have to worry about needing like an actual cliffside to get them to not jump over. But the deer, I think we'll be able to go down. So we're gonna have to sort of work that out. But let me grab the barrier, and I'm gonna kind of trace it out. Here. And let's just use the no barrier for now. So I guess we'll have it go like here. And we'll do something sort of like this. Let me turn off the lock. Just kind of have it traced around this way. Since guests won't actually be able to walk into this habitat, we should be able to pretty much make that like a cliffside. I think it'll be kind of cool to have this space over here available. We're gonna need to sort of redo this, because I need to make sure that it stays, post levels remain constant above ground level. Yeah, let's do that. Hello. Let's put the barriers on the top of the ground so you can actually see. But I think it would be kind of cool if it came up and sort of got in close contact with this queue line up here, which I'm not quite sure if the queue line is going to be exactly there. Still trying to decide where it should be, although I worked really hard on getting it to go up this cliff, so it might stay there. But let me kind of curve this around. We can kind of put some enrichment toys, and maybe they'll come hang out over there by the where the people go to wait in line. And then we're gonna kind of come down this cliff, something sort of like that. And then I think we'll kind of swoop it around here. And then maybe we'll have it go like kind of follow the path here. And then we'll go up to there. So we'll work with something like that. Do you plan on doing another continent in the same park after North America? Yes, actually. So North America, let me actually pull up the picture of the map that we're actually using for the park. It's actually quite an intricate, I think that's the word, convoluted, big old mess of a map that I had worked on. And it's sort of what is the word, like theoretical, working, tentative kind of map. It is on my Twitter too, if you want to take a look at it, but it has all the different parts of the park. And basically what I'm thinking is that there will be sort of three main large areas of the park, and they are the Americas, Africa, and Indonesia. And those areas each will have like three smaller sections. So this area is the Americas. It has the North America, the South America, and the Arctic. And then they're kind of split up like that. And here, I can open it for you here so you can take a look at it. It's kind of chaotic. Oh my god. But you can see, let me actually make this fit the screen. There we go. So this is sort of the map. And it is a very rough kind of sketch, based on like how the terrain is in the park and kind of my imagination of like where things would theoretically be. Like for example, the Africa area kind of follows that curve because that's where the largest flat areas are. And then the Indonesia area is kind of on this big mountain. And the aquatics area is near the big middle river, and then the Rakasano State Forest is a huge mountain that I don't think we'll be able to actually build on because it's such a steep-sided mountain. So I did that, and then if we zoom in, let me zoom in so you can actually see the sections of the park. Don't know if you can read that because it's kind of small, but you can see the main areas of the park that we're doing. The Americas, the Indonesia, and African area are the largest, and then there's the aquatics and the Australia area. And North America's has the Great Plains, Los Tropicos, and the Aquatic. Indonesia will have East Asia and Indo-Malaysia. Africa has the Primate area, Nile Safari, and the Congo. And so those will be like kind of smaller sections within the big, large main sections. And in general, we've been kind of working on this bottom corner here. You can see I have sort of like a mini map. It's definitely changed a lot in shape based on how we've been building the park. But the next area we're going to be doing is the Arctic Cove, which is right kind of north of the area we're working on now, sort of northwest from the area we're working on now. So basically, we will have this habitat here for the deer, this one down here probably for the alligators. I might have to make it a little bit bigger. And then this area over here where this waterfall is where the bears will be, which I'm putting the grizzly and brown bears together in the same habitat. And then as we kind of start shifting this way, sort of the rest of this mountain, all over here, and maybe a little bit down here, is going to be the Arctic area, which is going to be a lot of like northern Canada, Alaska, maybe a little bit of Greenland, and we're also going to have the penguins there because I just felt like it fit in. So that's the plan after this. So let me make sure we're recording so I can do a time lapse later. Let me throw in a door, and we are going to see sort of the size that we're working with, whether we can make it a little bit smaller or whether it is a good size. So we have that there. We're lagging a little bit. Little bit. Can you guys still see that, or is it super laggy for you as well? Whenever I build barriers, sometimes it lags out my whole game. I don't know if that's how it is for everybody, but I know for me specifically it is rough. So where do we get the information about this habitat? So I'll click that, and we'll go here to terrain, and we're looking about at 70,000 square feet, which is way bigger than we need. It's actually, what is that? If we did do the 20,000, which is with both animals, which would be like a badger habitat and a deer habitat, we are still like 2, 4, 6, 8, 3 times too big. So we only really need 10,000 square feet. So I think what we'll do, because we might need to, well, you know what? Now that I think about it, this might be fine, having it this big, because there's going to be a lot of cliffs and non-traversable area. So when we think about actual traversable area, it might only actually be like probably about 20,000 feet, square feet. So it probably is an okay size. So we'll leave it like this for now, and then we can of course always kind of tweak it and edit it as we go, because we'll probably need to pull it up a little bit, because this area over here is sort of where the transition between the bear and the deer are going to be, and I'm going to try and make that like a cliff. Like the deer can't go down, the bears can't go up. And this flatter area is probably where like their building is going to be, like for the informationals and for the show for them, the education show, as well as probably their indoor habitat. So we'll do that, because we're going to need 2 education areas and an indoor area. So I think that should be fine. I think this should be fine. So let's take, so let's go look, sorry. The animals are over here. You can see them all hanging out. I'm going to go ahead and play the game, because we want to get researched. I put them in here so that they can be treated for any illnesses they might have, as well as have research done. So right now, if we take a look at them, we have a few sick ones. We do have a few sick ones, which is fine. They're going to be getting treated. So you here, Gina, you're sick. Oh, poor Gina. So we're gonna call some vets and some keepers just so they can start giving them food, because it doesn't look like they have any food in this habitat. Ooh, it is so laggy right now. I'm actually going to close my fraps because I don't think I'm going to be able to record. a time lapse today. And then I will close that out. Yes. Yes, so he's gonna come in here and hopefully help them, and I will zoom out a little bit. And what I want to do is in this habitat, I want to take, I was gonna take one and throw it out here just to see like what's actually traversable, but I decided I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna pause the game just because we are getting a little bit laggy. And what I think we're gonna do is just start terrain working. And it's gonna take a sec to kind of get this to an actual like usable area, but I'm going to make like a few flat kind of cliff areas that the animals would be able to hang out on. So like this area here, oops, this area here they could hang out on, and then I think we'll do like another one up here. Do something like that. And then we'll have like a cliff there, and then maybe we'll have this be like a flat area. Because I want this to be similar to how we did the like the doll sheep and the doll sheep and the moose habitat, so that they can be able to move up in elevation really easily. But I think, like, because if we look over here, like the area going up the cliff is very steep, and this is not as steep. There's a little bit more walking area. I think we want to do something more in this direction where there's a little bit more flat walking, hanging out area as opposed to cliff areas. So we're gonna have this area for them to walk and hang out, this area for them to walk and hang out. I think that will remain a cliff back there. We'll do something like this. And that is like a higher up area they can hang out. Maybe we'll have this go like out this way and kind of connect to over here. I think that would be pretty cool, because this is probably going to be mostly a cliff area. I don't think we're going to really be able to have the animals hanging out there. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll flatten this area out sort of towards the terrain. Something like that. Because I think that's going to be like a steep cliff like that. I think we'll keep that like that. And then over here, we'll flatten out sort of this area. I think we'll continue it this way just a little bit. Something like that. And then I think we'll have another flat area like over here. Like that. And then we'll kind of smooth it out to there. So we have that going on. Maybe we can have this come over just a little bit more. And then we'll flatten out the rest of the top of this. Do something like that. I think in general, that is looking pretty cool. Hold on. Close my door. Sorry. Okay. But I think that is looking pretty cool. We can definitely do some cool rock work, kind of helping that out. I think we'll leave this generally like that for now. And after we throw in the deer, we'll see if we need to do like some more heavy rock work on that side to kind of block them from being able to head in there. But now what we need to sort of do is figure out how they're going to get to these different areas. So, what I think is we need to do like some ramps maybe. Like right here, there's already sort of a ramp started. So I think we can kind of use that to our advantage. And I'm going to use the stamp tool because it works pretty well for this kind of stuff. And we're going to subtract, I think. Oh, let's add first. We'll do add. I'm going to shrink it a lot, and we're going to get rid of that angle snap. And I'm going to kind of try and shrink it down to like that height up there. And we're going to kind of try and squeeze it so it goes in like that. Maybe push it out a little bit. And this is basically what we're going to use. We're going to tilt this at an angle to make the ramp. So we'll do that. And I'm going to tilt it just kind of visually what I think would be like a walkable distance or height. Something like that I think is pretty shallow for them to be able to head out on. And then we will kind of just adjust it to move something like that. Yes. And then we're just going to kind of wiggle it down the mountain until we get like a pretty good path. Something like that. So I definitely think they can walk up that. That is not that steep. So we'll kind of have this like curve maybe around this edge. Kind of push it in this way. We'll just kind of keep curving it down like that. I think we'll have to go back like that. So we should be able to, we'll kind of smooth that out so that level will kind of go up to there. And then I think we'll just kind of flatten it out right about here. Kind of squeeze it back to fill in, and I think we just need to tilt it maybe just a little bit more. Let's see. And then kind of bring it down. That, which I might have to build up a little bit more, like there. And I'm gonna have to do a little bit of terrain, but you can see how that's like a nice flat kind of curved surface now. So they should be able to climb and move around that. We're just gonna need to kind of smooth out some of these edges. Let me just lower that. Smooth out like all these edges and stuff here. And we might have to do another little ramp to get down to this kind of flat area we made over here. I'm just going to kind of smooth all this out. We might fill this gap in, or this little divot here. We might fill that in. Let's actually take the pull tool. We'll just kind of pull it up a little bit. Something like that. Pull it up. Just kind of give it more of a smooth hillside. Something like that. Think we'll be able to climb up that? We should be. We'll see. But that allows them to get sort of from down here. They can kind of go up here, follow this around. They should be able to get off to go onto this level. They should be able to get off to go onto this level. And now they can basically get over to here, which is pretty flat, pretty much all the way across. And they'll just need like a little ramp area over here to get down. And we do have the path there. So we'll need to do, let's do something like in this direction, sort of down there, and we'll bring it over to here and lower it down, and I'm going to tilt it again at a shallow angle, which I like to do that first, so it kind of gives like a nice flat starting point, and we'll tilt that a little bit, pull it down and have it kind of go down at this angle. I think I'm gonna kind of have it curve. Do that. Go down again. And kind of have it go like around this way. And then what we need to do is we'll reselect this so that it's a straight edge again. Is it straight? Sometimes it doesn't do that. Sometimes you have to like leave the menu to make it a straight edge again. And we'll come up to here. Like that. And sort of flatten out that curve so it kind of comes down and across this way. And then we'll have it kind of rotate back a little bit, sort of like a U shape. I think maybe do something like that. And then we'll just kind of have it tilt down a little bit. And it should be able to just kind of fall into that, which might pull it up just a smidge. There we go. So they should be able to get up on that and sort of follow this shallow hill all the way up there. And so then they have this flat area to play with. And then the last thing they'll need to do is just get up to this really high area, which we might be able to do sort of an incline that follows up the side of this cliff, which I think will work. So we're gonna have to use, I think we'll start with, let's start with the adding tool, because we're gonna have to switch over to the subtracting. So I think we'll start something like this, and we're gonna do like a shallow angle, like there. And we'll start sort of at this level. And I think we might need to pull it out a little bit more. Something like that. And basically they'll just follow this up. And we get here is where we're going to have to switch to the subtracting tool, but it should keep the same angle. We just got to adjust it a little bit. So now we're gonna head up. Basically want it like, we'll say there, but now we'll need to pull it over, say probably like there is probably good. And then we'll just kind of head up. For some reason that piece did not delete, so let's slide back down. And now we get up to here. We're just gonna kind of follow it up and subtract. So I think what we need to do is actually come back a little bit. And then we need to start rotating sort of in that direction. And kind of push it back a little bit, like that. And that should be okay. And then we'll kind of climb up a little bit, like this. So that works. Maybe just a little bit more. And then we will rotate again. Actually, I'm gonna do that. Oh no, that sucks. I forgot when you undo it, completely unsets that. So we'll go right about here. It needs to go up. Save that angle? I can't tell. So we'll do that. I think I'll skip this over there. Is it still going up? No, it is flattening. So I need to sort of readjust this. want to have it kind of twist at that angle. Kind of at like that height. And then maybe we need it to... Yeah, that's a pretty good angle, I think. We're just going to scoot it this way a little bit. Like that. And then I think we'll need to... how precise it is. Well, this is the stamp tool. I think it's the point of it is to be really precise. But I find it really easy to build like ramps and paths if you use this tool. Because you can do that. So that's where that is. I think we need to lower it down just a smidge. Sort of like that. And then I think we will start kind of heading in that direction. And then we will kind of curve back a little bit. Start to head up. Because it should be right about there. And then we can, let's try and turn it all the way around. We might have to completely move it. Actually, we'll go to the tool. I'm going to start here. And then we'll just go back. Something like that. Rotate it this way. Like that. I think we can make it a little bit of a smaller width. Work with something like that. And then let's lift it a little bit. Yeah, and then you kind of just, or I guess we do need to lower it a little bit more. That, and then this should just kind of smooth up to that level there. So they can basically take this long, nice stroll that goes all the way up to the side of this cliff into that top flat level. So now we basically have, let me see, we have like 1, 2, 3, and 4 kind of flat areas for them to hang out. And then the rest will be kind of cliff face. But now what we can do is I'm going to go to the terrain tool and the smoothing tool, and we're going to set it to auto paint, and this will help us see where the actual cliff faces are. Because then when we go in and smooth it, it'll make those pieces nice cliff faces. And the parts that are kind of more flat for walking will be grass. So we're kind of just going to go through and smooth all this, and this will help us for when we lay our rock formations down to know actually like where these cliff faces are. And so I'm guessing that might still be a little too steep to climb up, but we will see. Because after this, what I think I'm going to do is throw one of our deer into this habitat, although the fences are like fake fences. And we can take a look at whether or not they can climb up this terrain. Hopefully they don't try to run and escape, because I think that, like, for example, right here might be way too small. Throw them. Yeah, so we're gonna throw them into the habitat. Which I added a few of them for the game already into our quarantine cell, but they're being treated for some diseases and stuff right now. Well, not right now because I have the game paused, but that's essentially what the quarantine cell is for. Let's play the game so they can kind of get to work on, there we go, treating those animals. And we also need to do the research. That's another reason why I like to put the animals in the quarantine cell. So while they're being treated for illnesses and stuff and injuries, we can do research on them. So that when we put them in the habitat, we can actually have some enrichment items for them so they're not super sad. So after I finish smoothing this, which usually takes a sec, really laggy when I play it. So I'm just going to keep it paused for now. So I'm assuming editing terrain around the barrier is kind of confusing. So yeah, you can definitely see the cliff faces now and what areas they should be able to generally walk on. And like this, I said, this back area is supposed to be sort of really cliffy so they can't actually get up there. So that's sort of their habitat. I think that looks pretty cool. Some walkways, so basically they can like come up here, they can walk this way, go down here, or they can continue this way, head up here, like a Z shape to this nice big flat area. They can also kind of do this area here, go up a little bit, and go this area here. And that should give them a lot of like walking space and stuff like that to play with. So what we're gonna do now is take one of the deer from the quarantine cell and we're going to put them into this habitat just so we can kind of see the traversable area. They've all just been like standing here. I can't help but feel they're like glitching or something, maybe because I put them down and this water thing is really close. So let me move this water piece. We'll move it over here, I think. Something like that. Okay. I think they were all stuck because they're just standing there and pooping there and stuff. Play the game. Kind of fast forward and see if they move around, because I'm not sure why they're all like stuck there like that. Maybe we manually move them. Let's try that. So let's move you over there. See if that helps kind of spread them around maybe. They're just like chilling. There's so many of them. Look how many little heads there are. I'm just gonna kind of move them all out of the way. Oh, we actually have an albino one. Oh, so there we go. Now they're all unstuck. Not sure what happened. I think there was just too many of them there. They might have just gotten a little glitched out, and that's why the game is lagging. Yeah, so this is just a little quarantine. Yeah, it's saying cleanliness of the habitat is a disease risk. I know, because of all this poop here. We'll call a keeper to the habitat and he'll come and vacuum some of that up. But look, we actually have an albino deer. How cool is that? So let me grab, let's just grab one of these females, maybe one that's not going to be needing sickness and stuff. Yeah, they're not that happy right now with the habitat. But don't worry, we're going to take you, basically move you to this really big open habitat. And we're going to kind of see her traversability, see how she feels about the size, and stuff like that. We actually just got some research done. So let's see. Nice. They actually have a lot of levels to unlock, so we'll just do that. We have some active diseases, but don't worry, we have researched them. So he should be coming to take this Hansa, I think is her name. Yes, and Hansa is going to be going to the new habitat because the traversability is a very finicky thing, and you have to like move a lot of pieces. And I'm going to be almost certain that she might not be able to walk up this little bit here, so we'll see. We're going to just throw her in here. get a look at it. See what other things the city's yelling about. Facility inaccessible. Oh yeah, I forgot I put those in there, but I did not connect the path, so those are just gonna have to be inaccessible for now. And then it says this is too far away from the habitat? Really? Okay. Probably took to change that to something else. Anyway, where is that deer? Speed up the game a little bit. But yeah, but in general, I think this is just going to be kind of a woodsy, rocky kind of habitat. I don't think we're going to really do any insane like caves or anything. Just I don't think that they need or want that. Oh, not need to pause. I'm going to slow down. So we're going to have to pause it as soon as she goes in there to see what she feels. Okay, let's give her a sec to load. So she starts moving because she's right now the computer's basically assessing the traversability. Okay, so we'll do that. Let's go in here to habitat. Yes, it's like she can literally escape everywhere in this habitat, but she's actually able to go everywhere right now. So the traversability is actually perfect. I don't want to brag, but that's like the first time it's ever worked, the first time I did it. But she can actually get up to this area, which we don't want. So we're gonna have to cliff that face out a little bit. And she can also make it over here, which we don't want. So this whole back wall area, we want to be sort of so steep that she can't get back there. So I think what we're gonna have to do is if we go into our terrain tool, and we use the flatten to surface, and we just kind of make it like steep cliffs like that. And of course we'll like kind of tweak it out a little bit. But if we make them like super steep cliffs like this, they should be able to like get on these cliffs, but they shouldn't be able to get onto the other side of them. I think we might just have to push this down a little bit. And we are going to use rocks and stuff as well, which will help some of these smaller areas. Just like that there. And then up here, what we're going to do is use the flatten up here. And I'm going to sort of push this back. That, and if we get a steep enough cliff, they should be able to just not jump on it. I think they can kind of get to a steep, they can actually like get up a very steep cliff. So I think I'll do something like this, which that's kind of silly looking, so I'm just going to push that back a little bit. We'll do something like that. This area obviously is traversable, and she can probably get up through that area there. Which I do want her to be able to go over into this area, but I don't think she would be able to get up that cliff, but it's probably this area right here. So I think I'm going to do is take that flatten tool, and we'll take this elevation and we'll sort of push it into there, like that. I think that's the train, so we'll need to pull that up a little bit. She cannot go into the train area. Sort of like that. So that gives us a nice kind of cliff face. So let's see how that works now. Where is she? And we'll just kind of need to play the game for a bit for the traversability to update. So let's see. Give it a sec. Okay, so let's see, where can she go? She can get out all these areas, yes, that is because we don't have a fence there. She can get out here, which is scary to think that she can make that leap, but I actually don't think it's that. I think it's because the barrier goes there, which we can fix that by pulling the barrier kind of around to here. She can't get down these cliffs, which is perfect. She can't get up over there and escape. And then over here, the only area she can escape is right around the guest path, which is fine. I think what we'll do is let me grab the barrier, because I think barrier areas like this is why we see that she can escape. I'm gonna grab that and kind of pull it to the edge, like on the outside of the cliff. I think that will help that whole, they can escape there, because technically they can, because they can get past the barrier. But this way they can't get past the barrier because they can't go down the cliff. And this is probably where that fence is gonna have to start. We're gonna have to have a fence all around that area there. She cannot get up here, which is good. Just move it. Up here. Yeah, she can't escape any of that. I don't think she could have gotten out here. This is all fine. And yeah, see, this is because that path is like, or the barrier is right inside the hill. But if we move it to the outside of this cliff, it will say that she can't escape it. So we'll put that there. There. And so the only places she should be able to escape are areas that are right next to paths. So let's wait for that to update. I think that's it. So yeah, so this area here she can escape because there's a path there, which we'll have to put a gate to get guests, and then this as well for guests. So we can kind of keep guests from getting into those habitats as well as the animals getting out. And those areas will have actual fences or gates or whatever. But in general, this is perfect. So we won't need to put like a big barrier here because the cliff face will keep them up there. I also think it will look cool as well. And over here we'll have like a small gate. So alright, so let's get working on, well, what we're going to need to do first is maybe some rock work. I think that's the first thing we'll need to do because rock work can affect traversability as well. So we're going to be using taiga rocks on this whole habitat. So let me see. Actually, I think I might have like a pre-built taiga rock set. So let me actually, let's go to filters. We'll go to, is it foliage type? No, we'll go to biome taiga. We want all taiga stuff, like that. And for their building, so the thing is, they don't really have much of a an area. They kind of stay, let me see, let's actually look up some information so we can kind of get an idea of what we want the habitat. So this is what I'm thinking about for inside the habitat, is sort of like this rocky kind of foresty area is sort of the vibes I want to go for them. But when it comes to like buildings and stuff, they tend to be let's see, I think in the like middle of Europe. So let's look at their habitat and see where they are from. So it says they are in grasslands, savannas, and scrublands. They also are in like deciduous trees and conifers. Let's see. Predator, no. Diet, no. Anatomy. So where are they? Where do the fallow deer live? Yeah, Europe, Mediterranean region of Europe. Okay, so in the United States, they tend to be between the lakes in Kentucky and the Georgia Barrier Islands. So let's look at the Kentucky lakes and see sort of what the architecture looks like over there. Maybe that's what we can kind of go for. Kentucky Lake. Alright, let's see if we can get an idea. So I think what we're gonna kind of do, because this doesn't really look super log cabin-y, we might go for more of a like a modern wood kind of look. Let's look at architecture. Something that's maybe a little bit more modern, but still that sort of wooden, forest kind of vibes. Yeah, because it doesn't really look like there's much going on. Is there any national parks or national forests? There are, and they are really pretty. So here's a nice picture of an area where these deer might live. Jesus Christ. Something like this. Like this really heavily forested, kind of deciduous forest. Sort of like this, I think, is what we're looking at, with like the cliffs that I'm making, kind of doing that deciduous forest look. So I think we'll do that. And for the architecture, I think we'll just kind of have it blend with sort of this building here, that kind of ski lodge look, but maybe we'll make this a little bit more modern. So let me actually go into the pathing tool, and we're going to delete the path sort of all the way here. Something like that. And I can delete this path too. Because this path was sort of just where I thought that I would want like the alligator habitat. So we can go ahead and delete that. This delete tool isn't usually the best, but the building might cause the barrier of the other habitat to kind of get pulled out a little bit. I do think we're going to need some services out here. So we might be able to do, so I think what we'll do is over here is where I think the building for the alligator crocodile habitat will be. And so because of that being nice and far away from the main path, we can do a lot of the facilities back here that these 3 exhibits are going to need. Because otherwise it's going to take a while for them to get over here. So what I think we're going to do, I think, so let's see, actually let's do this first. I want to see if they can walk up. We need some climbable material. So if I go into construction, and is there a filter for climbable? Property, no. Oh, there is. So property, we can do climbable. And let's look at pretty much all of what we have in the construction is climbable. So it's pretty much just these sticks. These are climbable though. These are the only things we have in the construction zone, because basically what I'm thinking is we can have sort of the habitat go in on the ground level here and then maybe exit on this top level here. Or we can do, because I'm trying to just think how to play with these levels. Because if we put their facility up here, okay. Well, let's just start with, let's just start, oh, okay, wait a minute. There's way more climbable material. I just had the word square written in. So let's go back to architecture. Let's go to walls, and let's see what we're actually working with. Do we have any actual wall pieces that are climbable? No. Mostly the columns, no arches, no supports. What about roof pieces? So these are the roof pieces that are climbable, wall decorations. So we might be able to make use of like these pieces. Because if these are climbable to the animals, the staff should be able to walk up them. So we can basically do like a faux stairs kind of in there. So let's get rid of climbable. So this is the East Asia Unpainted Timber. So let's remember that. And we're just gonna kind of build a sort of a shell out of the concrete pieces. Kind of see if we can get somewhat of a shape going. So I think we'll kind of do it this way. I think we'll have like the building kind of go in this way. Maybe we'll do something like this, kind of working with some shapes, and then it'll kind of go. I think what we'll do, so let me exit this building real quick. I want to scoot this building a little bit closer so that this piece is completely under the mountain like that. And then we can have it go in like that. And then this one, we'll have it go out a little bit more actually. We'll have it kind of go in. And maybe pull across here. Across there. And then into the other one. So I think that's in general our shape that we'll work with. And then what we can do is these pieces will just kind of do that. And that is where they can exit the building to go out to that level. But down here on these levels is where the staff will go in. So we'll just kind of fill out something like this, just a rough shape, and we will change this when we start to do the facade. So we'll do that. And then maybe the staff can come in. Probably easiest for them to come in like on the side closer to here. Something like that. Yeah, we'll do something like that, and then we'll just have to mess with the terrain a little bit. So I can make pretty much this whole area down here flat. And then we'll just kind of build a ramp that gets them up to that other level there, so they can actually exit and go out into the zoo and stuff. I think we can use flat roofs as floors over here. Actually, let's go ahead and use those. What was it? East Asia. I'm not sure where that piece will be. It's probably going to be in wall decorations. Yes. And let me get it to just kind of snap to that so that we can use that to build this floor off of. And then I'm going to make this up to 45. Kind of bring it like something like that. And then basically what that will mean is they can walk up here. Actually, let me flip that the other way so the arrows are straight for me. So we'll go something like that, and we'll sort of build like a faux floor kind of across this, and so then we'll build a ramp up to there, and they'll be able to come up to this floor and exit out onto this higher level. And then they can go down to the lower level, and that's where like the food will be, and their little sleeping beds and stuff like that. So I think that works. Do one more. So we're over here, and then I can select all those. This is not in a building. Let me attach those to the building so we can actually have them in the building. And then I'm going to select them all and kind of move them a little bit. Why is it not selecting them? There we go. Because right now they're kind of tucked in that wall over there. Squeeze them around like that. And I think that works. So we'll do that. And I want to duplicate them out a little bit. We can have some more walking room. And then what we're going to do is use this to build the ramp piece. So I want it to kind of go down this side. So it should be able to. And I think we'll probably put it at like a 15-degree angle. I think that would be a good incline. Do 15. Because that should be an okay height for them. Squeeze that down. And bring it up like that. Slide that down. Okay, so then what we'll have to do is take all of these pieces here and we'll kind of have to rotate it. I'm not quite sure. Okay, here's what we'll do instead. Let me try this. So let's grab all these. We'll rotate it this way. And then we can kind of try and line it up with this piece here. Maybe we'll do like a flat piece there for them to kind of get onto the ramp. And then it should be able to go all the way down to the floor there, which we might need to just kind of poke that out a little bit. And then we'll have this piece do something like this, which we can rotate it to actually this way. There we go. Do something like that. Let me lower it just a little bit to get rid of that Z fighting. So we'll do that. And then they should be able to come down and go this way. On this side down here, we might need to do a piece. Let me duplicate this piece, and we're going to straighten it out. I think that's straight. And then this piece will come out to the wall. Like that. And then we will have another ramp that goes this way. Here. We can just push that against the wall as well. So they should theoretically be able to sort of walk that. We might need to grab the deer and move her here. And then we'll have the traversability update and see if she can actually walk across that. Let's do that. Traversability. No, you cannot walk across my keyboard. So, she cannot get up there completely. Pause the game. We can see she can get up to that space. So we might need to widen this. So let's put it out of that. Maybe if we widen this whole thing, we which I'm gonna duplicate all these pieces, and we'll just kind of widen it. Make it something like that. Pull these pieces out. Like that. And then this piece, we'll need to sort of adjust. Pull it up to here. Like that. And then we will duplicate it this way. So that should work, because that is pretty big. So let me select her. We'll go to traversability. Let's see what happens. Did I accidentally click something in blueprints? I did. I accidentally clicked a blueprint. So let's get out of that. I do not need that. Oh my god, it's probably gonna freeze my whole game out. Okay, well, exit that. I want to select her and her traversability. Excellent. And she can get to all those places as well. So now we can use pretty much this area. That's really cool, the way that works. So I'm just gonna pause the game. She doesn't seem to care to escape, which is awesome. But what we need to do now is we will see if I take all these pieces out and then we put in the concrete like arch pieces, if they'll still be able to get into there. It's plaster, painted brick, concrete, stone brick, the concrete pieces. Here. If we do something like this, will they be able to access all of that area? Let me exit this building, select her, go to traversability, and we will play the game for a sec. Yes. Excellent. And so that will basically allow us to put some of the food pieces actually up there, since they'll be able to go in any of those areas. So let me go to Habitat, and we're going to look at food and water. I'm going to filter this by the deer and the badger. We're looking at European fallow deer and badger. Okay. And for water, they just want that pipe. For food, they just need some troughs. We might not be able to use these large troughs, just so they can actually fit around them. So let's put like a medium trough there, maybe another medium one there, and then we'll do like a small one here, so basically they can come in all these different directions and use those. For the water, I'm going to put 2 little water pipes actually outside the building. I'll put one there and one over here. Like that. And the terrain is a little funky. Let me see if I can adjust that a little bit. We'll go to flatten terrain, kind of make this a little bit smaller. We'll flatten it to like there. There we go. So now they can grab some water there and some food, and they can go in this way to go down. And then I think what we'll do is little beds underneath, right? Because I think her can traverse under there. And so we'll do like the little beds under there for them. So I'm gonna go in here, and I think what we'll do is grab some of these concrete walls, and I think I'm gonna like cover off like that area there, just so they don't go back there, because they can traverse back there, and I'm sure the badgers can actually go back there a little bit better. So I'm just gonna cover that off like that. Let me grab the 1 meter, and maybe we can sort of finish this off like something like that. It also makes it look a little bit more stable with the cement underneath of it. And then what we will do is grab these concrete walls, do some beds like that. We'll need to grab the wall, these pieces. So that one won't work there. Excuse me. I think we can do, so let me do that one, and then we will put maybe another 2 pieces like that, so that this is kind of supporting the piece there. Looks like, you know, that's giving it support to actually stand. And then I think we can just put the little, it's actually too tall. I don't want to mess with the grid, otherwise it's going to get atrocious. So I'm actually going to use these pieces. We're going to snap like that. And we're going to just use these to build that piece. Just because as soon as you start messing with the grid, everything goes to shit. So I'm going to place it that way, and just kind of pull it down and in. And this is just because we want to give support. We want everything to look like it's actually supported by something and not just there. So they should be able to walk up that still. And what we can do now is go and get their little beds. And these essentially, we can imagine they're like the areas that they would store the animals away at night to kind of keep them safe so they're not running around in the habitat. And we'll just use, I think the large beds should work. And we'll just need to reassess the traversability. She probably won't be able to get into like these smaller ones, but I definitely think that the badgers might be able to sleep underneath there. I'm just gonna throw some hay sort of around like it's kind of a messy place. Like that. And then I think over here, what we can do is maybe, let me see if we duplicate this. So we can put a vet surgery in here, but it is going to affect the guests a lot. So maybe we won't be able to do that. I was like, maybe we can do like an entertainment point in there. But it wouldn't really be that good of a view for them. So I'm not quite sure what that area would be. We might be able just to take it off the building. If we close this building off here, we can just take that off, and I think the building is still a good size. I think that still works. And then maybe what we can do is, because the guest path will probably come like around this way. So what we can do is maybe over here, we can squeeze in like a keeper's hut. Squeeze it in like there. And that will also give us some interesting pieces to work with. And I think what we'll do then is actually cover that up. I think that will be our main entrance into the building. And then we might be able to build some more of these little bed areas, sort of in here, like that. And I can just make some more little bed pieces here. They can sleep in them. And this little area here, the badgers might be able to fit in there. There we go. So this big sleeping area down here for them. I might include some windows. I have a good idea of how to do some windows in here. We want windows that the guest can't really see into. So let's go into the concrete pieces, because what we could do is something like this, where we take a 1 meter piece and we're going to put those in here. And then we will take, let's take these pieces. We'll go like that. And does those 1 meters fill in that gap? They actually go a little higher. So maybe, maybe what we'll do then is just keep these pieces full walls. That. And then we'll do another window. We can't do one there. Yeah, we can squeeze one in over here as well. So put the 1 meter piece in, and then we'll grab some glass pieces, which I like to use the thin ones. We'll put those in there. And this will just help the building open up a little bit, because right now it is kind of drab. And then we'll grab the little 2 meter piece, plop those in there. And then we'll just put that 1 meter concrete piece on top. And that will frame out the window. We just have some windows. I don't think the guests can actually look into them, but I just feel like it kind of opens up the space, especially in here, a little bit more. So the animals don't feel completely claustrophobic. And they can go up here and get all the way to the zoo, and this is like a nice little area for them to kind of get away from being viewed, which actually I don't think there is going to be really too many good viewing spots in this habitat. We're gonna try and make some, but I think in general, other than like maybe this area to view them, seeing them from the cliff here, maybe we'll do like a stairs that go up to like here, that level to see them. It's not really gonna be that viewable, which is fine. Could be more of like a conservation thing, because the deer are actually not that endangered. They're of least concern right now, but they are dealing with some habitat loss, which is why I think they're in the game. Let's go to staff facility. Let's actually turn off blueprints for now. We're going to get the keeper's hut, and that is going to be for this building. Unsuitable terrain. Okay, I forgot it. I don't know why it doesn't just flatten out the terrain then for you, like the enrichment items do. So let me smooth that out a bit. Let me make sure we're in this building. And then I'm gonna squeeze this facility in here. I like to put the keeper's hut buildings right by the entrances to the zoo. I just think it adds more of like an interesting factor. Like maybe that's the keeper's hut just for that building. What do you mean it's unsuitable? I just flattened the terrain. Guess we need to flatten it a little bit more. Just push all this completely out of the way. this piece. It might be this thing. This little bed piece. That might be messing with it as well. So we'll go to facilities. And squeeze that back in there. Yeah, I think it was that bed piece. But we'll put that there, and then we're gonna move the habitat door. Move it to where it fits over here. Oh, wait. Actually, we need to redo the barrier. So, let me select the barrier from here to go from there to there. Delete that. It's gonna be like, oh my god, there's no barrier. And we're gonna basically build it. I don't know what it is built, but select that. I'm gonna kind of come up to this part here. And we're gonna kind of trace around the building. Needs to be a little bit longer than that. I like the barriers to be kind of just outside the walls, because otherwise you keep getting notifications that the animals have escaped the habitat because they got too close to the wall. So if you put the barrier, we'll go through it this way. And then we'll come down like that. Connect it there for now. So we have a nice shape there, and we can move the door. Place it like that, and then we can just have the staff path kind of, I think we're using a green one. It just, whoa, I forgot I had it on super long. And then the staff path can just head out like that, and we'll figure out where all that's gonna go later. But in general, that facility looks kind of cool there. I like it. And it's gonna be a really simple roof. I think we'll just do kind of like a L-shaped roof. But I'm gonna leave the roof off until we kind of get the animals in and make sure they're all functioning. So let me grab that deer. I want to check her traversability, make sure we're all still looking good. Play the game. Let's see. Okay, so she can get into all these nice little sleeping areas. She can get all the way up. She can still access all these food pieces. She can access the two drink machines. She can access the two drink pipes. She can get down to this area, so we might actually take that piece off. Here, I think we might close that off. Like that. How does that affect the traversability? Yes, so now she can't go down there. Which means she can't actually escape anything over here now, which is good. And then, like I said, over here, we're gonna have to just build a fence. I think it's the only way we're gonna really be able to adjust that traversability. So let's go ahead and we'll grab the barrier. Probably about here. Go around to probably around there for now. I'm just gonna delete that, and we're gonna start fencing. Sort of over here. I think we'll pull this sort of to there. And I think we're going to use the wooden fence, so I think it looks the nicest. There we go. And we're going to use the curve. We're going to make it a little bit longer. I'm kind of going to try to follow the curve of this path. and then we will adjust the height in a second. So we're kind of just going to do something like this. And for this area, we might need to go a little bit smaller. We'll go like there. Curve it out. It'll be kind of like a smooth curve. There. And then we can just connect right up to there. That is a super tall fence for no reason. So I think what we'll do is we'll select it and we'll lower it down. It doesn't need to be, it needs to only be about 4.2 feet high for it to be valid. So we can lower that significantly. That's 3.4. That's 4.4. We turn off snapping. See if we can get this a little bit more precise. So we need to be 4.2. Perfect. So there we go. We have that. I think this edge needs to lower down as well. Oop. Something like that. And that will keep the guests from getting in the habitat and the deer from getting out of the habitat.
You've got mail.
Oh my god. Thank you for the donation. You said drink machine. Oh, you're making fun of what I call it, a drink machine. Yeah. Waterfall? You want to build a waterfall right now?
just figure it out as to when you want to.
I wasn't planning on putting a waterfall in this habitat, but I guess we can try and squeeze one in somewhere.
Wherever you want to put it.
Let's see. I wasn't expecting to actually build any more waterfalls at all. But we probably could do with... Because we're gonna need water over here for the alligator habitat. So maybe we can do like a small river with some rapids kind of dropping as it gets to like a lower level. It's fine. We might be able to put a waterfall right here is what I was thinking, just because it is going to be pretty sheer-faced. And it might be cool to kind of pull some of this water down and maybe have like a nice bridge that the train goes over it. So we might put a waterfall up there is what I'm thinking. So we'll see about that, but I'm going to get to that after we do the rock work. Otherwise, it is going to be really tricky. Okay, so let's check her escapability now. Or I mean her traversability. Let's see where she can go. Let's see if any of that gate kind of helped adjust that. Is it still escapable? Okay. So now this habitat is completely capable of having the deer in it. They can't escape, and one of my favorite things so far about this habitat is there's like no gates, right? If you look at this, there's one building and a small gate over there for the guests, but they can't escape. We'll have to check the badgers. They probably have a little bit more ability to kind of maybe sneak around some small areas. What I'm gonna do though is turn this piece into some glass so the guests can see into the exhibit, because we want to try and give them enough viewability, although that's really not that visible there, of some of the animals. Because as of right now, that area is probably the only viewing area they can actually get to. But like I said, we might do something over here. It might need to be... Do you think it could be on top of the building? I think we might need to do that. Let me go back in here. Maybe if we include a viewing area as well as learning education show on top of the building. Like if we have them go oh. It's repeating? Interesting. I'm not sure, but it said it's ahead. So I'm talking ahead. Interesting. Let me try to go into OBS without it absolutely crashing. There we go. And if I delete this, it should help. Just give it a sec. Okay, so that should help. So there should only be music and my mic in the background. I think. Does that work? Is the audio still really far ahead? I'm not quite sure how to fix it.
It's just me.
I'm not sure because it says that we're streaming at 60 FPS, which means it should be clearing stuff. So I'm not quite sure. But I'm gonna keep going. I don't know if you're going to be able to actually hear the game now that I did that. But I think what I'm gonna do is build like a small building up here. Like that. And this will be where the viewing deck will be, as well as the education show. Oh, Amelia's here. She says it's normal for her.
That's good.
Maybe. It might be because we're on the same internet that I'm streaming on, so it might be stressed out. So I'm going to duplicate this piece up here. And I think up here is where like we'll have like a viewing deck. And like maybe all this will be glass. We'll probably have to have the path. The path is probably gonna have to be like weird height. Probably like to that height there. There's like a fly in my face. So we'll do something like that. And let me, here, I'm gonna grab this piece. I'm gonna separate it from the building. Path. Grab guest path. I think we'll use the elevated path here. We're gonna line it to that grid. Okay, so it'll let me build it here. Perfect. I'll just have to check traversability really quick to make sure the guests can actually, the animals can actually get in. So that will be that. Let me grab our little deer. What was her name? Hansa. And I'm going to play the game. We're going to check her traversability and see if that affected it. Okay, perfect. So she can still get under here, even though there is that path there. That's perfect. Let me lower that. There we go. And so now what that means is we can go into here. And I'm actually going to redo that window. And we'll have the entrance to it be here. And then we'll kind of have it snake down the side of the building there, because I think that would be pretty cool. So let me put a 2-meter glass piece. This fly has been in my face. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna get a 1-meter concrete piece. What I should probably do at some point is like go in here and heart the actual pieces that I'm using. and then this door will be there. And then we can go to this building, delete that, go back to this building. Actually, I think we'll keep those 2-meter pieces there like that. And then I'm gonna get the glass, but I want to use that really nice clear piece of glass, which is this one? No, there's a bigger one. Yes, this one. Because I think this one has like no like support in the glass panes, so they're like super clear. So I'm gonna do that. And we'll just kind of put that up here. Like that. So the guests can come in and view the habitat from here. And they should get a pretty good view since this is where the animals go in and out to eat. So they'll probably be able to get pretty good views of the animals. What I'm gonna do then is we'll go to facilities and I will go to education. We're gonna take one of these seats, try and line it up with something. Okay, guess not. And we're just gonna kind of straighten it out that way. I think we'll tuck it in the back here. We could get 2 seats. Although I don't think that many people are gonna want to come to an education show about the deer, so we probably will only need 1. And I think what we'll do is if I go back to path, I think if we delete these 2 pieces, I can do a nice like little gardening bed with some education pieces in there. And the guests can go up there and view, and then they can come back here for the show, which we will need to actually go into facilities and actually grab the education show, animal talking point, that's what it's called. And we'll put it here, which I think will be fine. And then I'm going to link those seats to there, confirm, and we will do, wait, link those seats, yeah. So what I think we're gonna have to do is, so we'll have a show about the deer, and I think we're in October now. And then, ooh, what we could do actually, which, because I always want to have 2 shows if there's 2 animals. I want each animal to have its own educational show. So that one would be for the deer, but we would still need one for the badgers, which I might be able to do something over here at this elevation. Maybe a small building right here with some stairs that go up to it. That could probably work. Let me go into paths, and we're going to align to grid. We're gonna kind of build some stairs that go down. So I'm gonna have it go down here, up here. We're gonna go down here, there, down there. Okay, so let me just go down 1 more. I think that's fine. I think that's fine if it sticks out like that. And let me grab the regular path, which is this one, and we'll have it sort of shape off here temporarily so we can kind of see it. And then what I'm going to do is basically round out or straighten out these corners. I like to use the natural path because when it's elevated it's just pretty brown. Do the same thing here. Round out the corners. And there we go. So we have a nice stairway up to that habitat, which we're going to add like banisters and stuff. And they can get up to this viewing point here and get a really cool look at the deer, which I can do like a nice little planter box here for them. Because what we could always do is put another row of seats and another animal talking point and put them at the same month. And then it'll basically be like one big show about the deer and the badgers. That might be a cool idea. So let's do that. I'm going to line to grid, build that out. We're going to duplicate one of these seats here. And then I'm going to take this one, duplicate it like over here, and then this one will be about the badgers. Like that. And so then on those days of those shows, those two seats will be filled up and both those people will be talking at the same time. I think that'll be kind of cool. I think it'll be kind of cool. And then the roofing should be pretty easy for this. And now if we're thinking about, okay, so the main path, that's what we need to figure out, where the main path is going now, so that we can figure out what parts of this building are actually going to be cement and which parts we need to make into like something like a facade piece. So I'll do that. I think we'll have the path kind of do something like that, and then maybe it'll kind of go straight off in this direction a little bit, and then maybe it'll kind of do something in that direction, who knows. But I think that is generally a good shape for this habitat. And then we can have the staff path just come straight out through like that. So that's how the staff will get to the habitat, and then we can fill this in with some really pretty foliage is the word I was thinking of, and maybe probably over here as well. And then, so that works. And before we actually get into doing some like actual terrain work and stuff, what we need to do now is buy our badgers. Oh cool, somebody's visiting the zoo. So let's go look at the badgers. And how many badgers can we have? So we can have 6 males and 6 females. So I think what we'll do is we'll have that full amount. We'll do 12 of them. Just because it is sort of a large exhibit, we want to make sure that people can see some animals. Oh, we have Reggie here. Let me turn on the cat cam so we can see the Reggie. Reggie! You want to hang out on the cat cam? Look! Over here. What is he looking at? A cat or something? He's like freaking out. He's looking at something outside the window. We lower it so we can see him. The fat boy. The fat boy. Let him hang out there for a bit. So we're gonna get 12 badgers. 6 male, 6 female. Because it is quite a large exhibit and you probably will never see a badger. And we're probably gonna make their environment more at the top of the habitat because they are more of a temperate taiga kind of preference, whereas the deer just kind of want temperate. So I think what we'll do is kind of make the top more a little bit snowier, a little bit colder, and kind of make that more for them. So we're gonna go ahead and buy all these guys. We're gonna do, so we want 6 males, 6 female. So pretty much just gonna buy 3 of these pages. And we're gonna put them in the quarantine habitat after we remove the other ones, just because I want to make sure diseases aren't being spread. And so then basically the deer will hang out in the main habitat, and the badgers will hang out in the quarantine habitat until they are all healed of the illnesses and injuries. So we bought all those. Let's see how many we have. Select them all. We have 12. Okay, so what I'm going to do first before we move them in to the zoo, we're going to go over here to the quarantine cell and see how they're all doing. We do have an albino one, albino fallow deer, which I think is really cool. Look at her. What's her name? Var? I think that's how you say that? Var? Cool. And then this is our male. Isaac. Beautiful, beautiful antlers. So I'm almost certain that the Fallow deer is the deer that Bambi was just like designed after. So it's kind of cute. And we have Tina here. So let's go in here. We're going to select all of the animals. So let's grab all of them. We're gonna go ahead and move them into the fallow deer habitat. No path determined. What do you mean no path? No path to destination? Do I have to like play the game to like update that path or something? It says no path to destination. Okay, let me pause the game. So that is connected, right? Yes, that's connected up. It comes out here, goes to that path. This path then goes all the way that way. How? What do you mean no path? I'm looking right at the path. This is all connected up, right? Let's just make sure. Yeah, it's all connected. We probably should create some sort of a slip road or something over here, because right now the only way to get over to this part of the zoo from this quarantine area is to go up here by this habitat and walk all the way back. So we might need to put like a little slip road, like maybe up through here. So let me, here, what we're gonna do is align to grid. I'm gonna select this grid and we're going to, ooh my god. So the terrain is there, which we can push the terrain out of the way since the rocks are there. So we'll do that. Align to grid, this one. Place, so we gotta get rid of that path. Place that, we'll deselect the grid, and we'll go down, like that, and then we'll need to realign to the grid, this one, and we're gonna reselect that stone path there, realign that up, make sure that is all connected. Yep, looks like it, okay. And then this path goes down, which we do have that facility there, which I don't think we can move it. I think it has to be there to be able to connect to both of the waterways that we need it to. So we're gonna have to have this loop around the back because we need the we need that to connect to. I think what we'll do is deselect that, have that connect like that, and then we can connect this up like that. There we go. And so now the staff can basically kind of sneak up over here, which we can go in here and kind of adjust this for them. Do something like that. Actually, let me push this that way. So now the staff will basically be able to come through there, and we can edit these rocks, which we can probably get rid of that one. We'll grab all these ones that are closest to here, like that, and we can probably just scooch them back a little bit. There we go, so staff can comfortably go in and out of there, and then this trash can, we can probably just get rid of it. There, and so now there is a faster way for staff to get over here. We can play the game. Maybe that will help reevaluate traveling. And we're going to try and move these animals again. So I'm going to select all of these. We're going to click move. There we go. I don't know what that did, but it fixed it, so whatever. So now they're basically going to run all the deer here, and while they are running the deer over, or running, not running the deer over, taking the deer over here, we're going to go ahead and move those badgers into the new exhibit. We actually have research done. Excellent. We need to try and keep the game not paused so that it can actually research the deer. Because I want to try and make sure we get some like good food and stuff for them. But alright, let's go to animal trading. And our animals, we have 12 badgers in here. So we're going to send them to the zoo. Actually, let me undo that. I'm going to send all of them except for our boy Anthony right here. We're going to send all of these to this habitat they're moving the deer out of. Oh, there, I'm moving them all. And then Anthony is going to get moved to this habitat just so that we can check his traversability. So yeah, we should see everybody running now into this habitat. And let's zoom to make it faster. Because I want to see all of the, I love seeing all the staff builders run like this. So here they all come. Dan, the badger, has joined our pack. The game is actually lagging. Let me pause it really quick. It gets really laggy when animals are moving around. So I'm gonna pause it really quick and give it a sec to think, and then we are going to save, just in case. Because sometimes it gets super, it gets really laggy when animals are moving and barriers are moving and stuff like that. So I'm gonna save that. And we are moving a lot of animals right now. So we are moving 17 deer out of an exhibit and into an exhibit and into a separate exhibit, and then we're also moving 12 badgers into an exhibit and one of them into a different exhibit. So there's a lot of movement happening. So sometimes that makes my game really laggy. So let's do that. Play the game. There we go. And so now we'll see them all get moved into here, and hopefully they don't get stuck like they did last time. Because last time they all got thrown in here at the same time and they all kind of got stuck. So there that one goes. They're all gonna probably be a little bit upset since there's no like trees or toys or anything for them. Yeah, I'm gonna try and not move the camera around too much while it's doing all this stuff with the animals. Yeah, so people are showing up for that show because it's supposed to be in October, but I don't think we have employees assigned. Yeah, no educators are assigned to this. And we should have, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 talk shows. So we should have 10 educators. Let's go look at our staff. Educators. We do have 10, so I'm not sure why. They're probably not included in this show because the show's probably not included in the work zone. So let me edit the work zone. Yeah, there we go. We want to make sure that these are included. So I'm just going to shift click those, and that should make basically those available. Oh, the train's coming by. Oh, cool. Tons of guests heading this way. And there's tons of employees now. So it looks like everybody has been moved. The whole herd is in here, making their way around. Hopefully they'll all eventually head up to... That's so cool seeing them walk up that little thing. Okay, so then they're all gonna head out into there. Let's go check our badgers. So we have a new animal arriving to the zoo. Phenomenal. Look how cute they are. So these are European badgers, and I'm pretty sure one of the main difference between European badgers and American badgers is mostly color, as well as American badgers are fat as fuck. This little bug has been flying around my face. That little bug, the little gnat. The little gnat. Let me call a mechanic to this habitat because, as you can see, the fences are absolutely destroyed. We don't want any badgers escaping. Negative effect, is it? Yeah, I figured it was these two. We're probably gonna have to move these, which, like I said, we're gonna have to probably build like a nice guest or staff facility area over here, so we'll worry about that. Did that badger get put into this habitat? Look at them all. Ooh, you know what we need to do? Is we need to put contraceptives on these males. Just to make sure we're not having any babies that we don't want. Where is our little badger? There should be a badger in this habitat. I need him to check traversability, otherwise he's probably escaped. So the badger, here he is. Anthony, where are you, Anthony? Ooh! Anthony is on the run. Let me pause the game. Let's check Anthony's traversability. So, there are a few places Anthony can escape, but other than that, it's not so bad. So over here, it looks like he can escape by getting out of the fence area, but not necessarily out of the habitat. So I might just move the gate around that way because it doesn't look like he can actually get down from those cliffs, but I don't mind him being on those cliffs. And then over here, we can fix this by steepening that cliff right there. So let me grab the flatten to terrain tool, and we're gonna pull this a little bit, and that should help. You killed the gnat! Thank you. So he probably shouldn't be able to escape out there, and then for this, if we just pull the barrier out a smidge, like that, he should be able to walk onto those rocks, which I don't mind him being able to go out here and look over at the water, but he cannot get down those rocks because it's way too steep. So I'm not too worried about that. So let's reselect him and see how it assesses his traversability. So yeah, so over here he's not considered escaping. He can just kind of go hang out on those rocks. And now he can't escape over there. So this habitat is completely badger and deer proof, which is kind of cool. This is one of the first habitats I've built without actual barriers to block the animals getting out. It's the first time I've ever just kind of used terrain. So that's super cool. So now we're just pretty much needing to do facelift stuff, and we can keep the game paused for that. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep the game playing, and that's because I want to do research now on the badgers. Let's see if we've done any more research. And I want to do badger research. Let's have Christina do badger research so that we can get some enrichment items and stuff in there for them. Because we are looking, we're doing research on the fawn as well. Okay, so let's do a little bit of facelifting. So these shows here, if we go look at our zoo, we can look at the education, we can look at the shows, and we need to come up with a name idea for the animal shows, for the beaver and for the deer, which will probably have like the same show, but it'll just be two different ones, because I think that's the only way we can really get the show happening at the same time, but like different ones. So all of the shows are named right now. I'm kind of trying to give them fun names. So Animal Talk 11 actually needs to be about the badgers. So I'm going to select that. And then we can do it by timetable. We have 2 in March. So that shouldn't be that way. It should be March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So we'll make this one February. Doll Sheep will be in February. We also didn't come up with a name for Doll Sheep. I named Timberwolves Howl to Coexist because that is the actual name from the Timberwolf show at Busch Gardens, which I really enjoy, so I figured I'll just steal that name. But the deer and the badger will need a show name, and the Doll Sheep will need a show name. But I will figure all that out, I guess, at some point. I'm just gonna move this so that it's more over here. Let's actually put these 2 educational shows sort of in the middle here, so those 2 people will stand. Actually, let's put them in the middle of the... Do we want to put the shows in the middle of the window or the middle of the talk area? I'm not sure. Dude, these stairs are rough. I let a lot more people into the park, and I think I regret it. Because we used to only allow, we did 500, and then we let 700, and now I have 1,000, but nobody's over here. Everybody's over here. It's a little annoying. Is there even anybody in our Timberwolf exhibit? It sounds like there's tons of people in here, but I don't really see a lot of people. I guess there is a bunch of people in here. Let's see how the restaurant's doing. Very busy. Oh my god. If you didn't get a chance to watch the Timberwolf building get built, which I think it came out super amazing, I had put a live stream or a time lapse of the build on my YouTube channel, so you can go check it out there. Let me actually just shrink the cat cam a little bit so you guys can actually see the game. So yeah, the deer are probably a little bit upset, but we're still working on research for them to make sure that we can actually get some really cool enrichment toys in here for them. So what we're gonna do now is probably rock work. Rock work is always important, but it is also the most annoying. So we're gonna go into rocks. Actually, what I think I want to do before I do that is we're gonna go into habitats, and we're gonna make the top of this little hill, I think we're gonna kind of make it a little bit chilly, like kind of all this area here, so we can get some snow. Because we do have snow in the exhibit here, so I think if we snow cap this whole mountain, I think that would be kind of cool. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pause the game though to do this because sometimes it gets really weird. So we'll need one there, there. We kind of need them to overlap. And that will kind of help us. So we'll do one there. I think we'll try and squeeze one in there. Probably get one in there and there. I'll probably need one like in this area. And then we can press play and it will show us where all the cool areas, because I just kind of like the idea of the top of the mountain being cold. I think it just adds a little bit of visual interest. So we're gonna basically freeze this whole area like that. I think that works pretty well. Might put one more like in there. And that is pretty much all that area, and we're going to snow cap it now with the terrain painting tool. We're gonna grab the snow, we're gonna make it pretty big, and basically what we'll be able to do is just kind of paint all of the areas where there is snow, and only if the temperature is cold enough will the snow actually stay. So we'll kind of paint all of this. You can see there the snow. So we'll do that, and you can see it kind of doesn't get placed where there isn't cold enough temperature. We'll just kind of paint around here. of tricky to see with all the trees, but just kind of squeeze some snow in here. Probably wouldn't be that much snow underneath the trees anyway, because the snow probably wouldn't have reached. So if we kind of paint from this angle, it would kind of make the most sense. Because the badgers like a little kind of cold. They like kind of more taiga, not really tundra, so having a little bit of snow every now and then would be a good idea. So we'll just kind of squeeze some snow in the rest of this mountain here. Kind of drag it down here. Yeah. I think that looks pretty cool. And then probably like drag it a little bit down here. Maybe a little bit over here. Don't know if it will stay there, but something like that, right? I think that's pretty cool. I would kind of like a little bit more snow down here, so what I might do is get another cooler and put it probably like over here and maybe like over here, and that will kind of cool that area, which is kind of cool because if you do cool it down to where snow could actually be there and you did already paint it snow, it usually just kind of starts to snow as soon as it gets cold enough. So we'll just kind of need to wait for that to cool down and see if that snow comes back. Just needs to be at 32. Yeah, there we go. So we have snow there. We should see some over there. And we might be able to paint a little bit more kind of in this area. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty okay. I don't mind that. Just a little bit of snow for them to kind of cool down. Because I actually don't think they like... I think the deer can be in temperatures up to 100, but I think the badger's like a little bit colder. So something like that will kind of keep this area up here nice and cool. I'll probably put a couple more like in this area. We'll probably cover them with like rocks or something. I don't think they're gonna be like actually down to 32. I think we'll make these down to like I'll do this one like, we'll keep that one actually at 32 so we can get some snow there. But this one, I think we're gonna do it more at like we'll probably do it at like 40. So it's still kind of cold up there for them, but it's not like freezing. And then here I'll keep it cold because I do like many guest tickets are underpriced. Say less. Let's raise the prices. Nice, we got some badger research done. So let's go look at our overview for the zoo. See how everybody's feeling about the zoo. The zoo is not making any money yet. That's fine. Our most appealing animal is still the moose, which is interesting. We have wolves in this zoo, and people still think the moose is the coolest. Currently researching 2 items. Does it not have... You cannot walk in front of me. If you're gonna go that way, you can go. Sweet little boy. He always tries to walk right in front of me and then ends up stepping all over my stuff. So, average animal welfare is 94%. It's probably a little bit low right now because the deer are probably upset. But right now our tickets are at $25 for an adult, which I guess we'll jump that up to 30 for adults, and we'll do 25 for children. Guests. Let's see what people are thinking. I'm surprised there's no gift shop. You know what? I am too. I didn't even think about that. We haven't built a gift shop yet. People think the zoo is good. They didn't come here to see staff facilities. I hate that. I didn't come here to see staff facilities. Ugh. Yeah, you know what? That's something that annoys me about this game. I'm gonna pause the game really quick. Is that guests get so mad about staff facilities, as if like if you could see like actually where they prepare the food for the animals, like that wouldn't be the coolest thing ever. I mean, at like most facilities, like you have to pay money to go on tours to see those areas. So yeah, I figured these would break down because I completely forgot to attach them. So what we're gonna do for now is just actually delete them. Because I tried to build like a little secret path that comes through here, but I never connected it because we're nowhere near there yet. So I'm just gonna leave that. Yeah, it's these facilities here that are causing a negative impact. So I'm just gonna move them because I'm getting real sick of people talking about them. And also it is that Keeper's Hut and the Trading Center. Keeper's Hut. Let me grab that. And I'll just move that over here. Just kind of squeeze it. And there, so they can still get to it, but they're not going to affect guests. So those are the two that we're having. Educational place too far away from target species. Yeah, so that was another thing that said. So I think we're going to have to do about this one is, what we're just going to have to do is make that not a educational board, and we're going to have to just make it a regular television. Because I used it as an education board because I thought it would help with let me try and get this to snap. Like the education, but you can't actually do that. So let me put that there. We're gonna rotate it tall. Still a gnat in here. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna take the whole thing. And rotate it so guests can actually see it. And then I will just change that to the board that I made, which this one is the conservation, and of course it's upside down. Which I did make this sign here. It's the conservation status sign, so it shows them like what the different colors mean. Very cool. So now that should help with that. That should get rid of all those notifications. Also, we have a notification. Can't access a research facility. Where is he? He's conducting research, it says. So he can't do research because there is no vet area, he's saying. Is this not completely available? I don't know. Whatever. Inefficient, it says. Okay. So we'll just kind of let them do their thing. We actually do have somebody visiting our zoo. Let's go see who it is. It's Brandy X9, it says. Phenomenal. Thank you. He's all squeezed in there. We'll get rid of that. Facility. Oh, we have research complete. Yay! And that is the deer, the badger. Okay. So let's get to working on the habitat over here, which we're kind of basing it off of, I don't know, like a state park maybe. Did this die? That sucks. We're gonna base it off of a state park in somewhere like Kentucky, West Virginia kind of area. And if I look up, let's see if there are any, let's see, state parks in Kentucky. And we have Cumberland Falls State Resort. I want a state park. Grayson Lake State Park. Yes, I like this. Let me show you a picture. I think this is sort of the, oh my god, what are the odds of that? So actually I'm actually looking up the Cumberland State Park to get some photos for inspiration, and it actually has the fallow deer in the picture, which is kind of cool because fallow deer are specifically the ones that have the white dots that go down the back. So we'll do that, and basically what I want to do is just like a traditional wooded area but maybe with like a lot of cliff pieces, something like that. Very eastern North Carolina, deciduous conifer forest. So I think we'll kind of base it off of this park, Grayson Lake State Park. There is no lake in this habitat, so we might have to name it Grayson State Park Habitat or something like that. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and do is head into some rock work. And basically where these cliffs are is where we're gonna put rocks. So I'm going to turn off blueprints. And we're kind of just gonna pick somewhere to start, which I usually start with the smaller cliffs first. So we'll start over here. We're gonna turn off align to surface. We also wanna turn off any sort of snapping. That way we can sink this into the ground and it won't be affected. And we can just fill in these gaps here. We're probably going to mostly use these large rocks because they do take up a significant amount of surface area. We're just going to make sure we're rotating them, and that will help reduce the monotony look. So we'll do something like that. Grab the next one, just kind of squeeze it in. And this is basically just how I do my rock formations. Just kind of grab all the big rocks, fill in the space, and just kind of work my way up with it. So we'll grab this one now, kind of squeeze this one into this area. This one is actually a pretty cool one. This rock right here is a really fun one to use for surfaces if we want the animals to actually be able to walk on those surfaces, because they have a very flat top piece on it. So like theoretically they could walk like over here, probably like down here and stuff like that. I'm gonna get rid of that gnat. It's bothering me. Oh, I grabbed it. There's another gnat in here. And it won't leave me alone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. The Reggie boy. So I'm just pretty much just gonna build these cliffs up, and then we can go in with some foliage to kind of make them look a little bit more natural. We don't need to fill them in completely because we can also use the rock terrain paint, and that does help them feel and look a little bit more natural. I'm just gonna kind of throw some rocks in really quickly. Nope, not the X tool. We need to rotate. Something like that. There we go. And that's a really nice rock cliff face, really simple one. Let's fill in this part here now. We're going to use these big rocks because these rocks are huge. Something like that. And then I'm just going to use these flat ones to kind of finalize the top here. Like that. Really simple. And I can go in with more of these other rocks, and these will kind of help. So we do a line to surface now. We can take like these pieces here and sort of sink them in to these different areas where it's like clearly repetitive. And aligning it to surface will help add a significant amount of variety. Go like that. Maybe take this one. So there we go. We have a nice cool little rock face there. And then another way to help really blend it in another way to help really blend it in is to use this rock surface painter and just kind of touch it up around the edges in areas like this where the rock kind of shows through. Probably do it across here, maybe along the bottom there. Kind of just helps blend it in to the rocks and to the terrain a little bit more. So that looks super awesome. Go back in, grab some more rocks, and this is pretty much what we're just gonna do across all these areas. We just want to make sure we turn off align to surface when we're not using it. Pretty much just go in, grab these areas, and we're gonna have to check terrain traversability after we place the rocks, because like rocks can really influence the traversability. They can really mess it up. So I'm pretty much just gonna go through like this, add the rocks, and then we'll go in with some smaller rocks, and we'll kind of fill in the gaps where it looks really repetitive. I'm gonna do something like this. Put a little cliff face there. Probably drag this one across here. This is that really long cliff face that goes all the way across here. They should be able to walk across this, so it should be fine. I'm just going to have to sink it in as we go. We just need to keep an eye on vet research as well, because as soon as they've done all the research, we can pause the game. Because we want to kind of pause it so that animal welfare isn't super low and protesters don't show up. So we'll do that. I think I'll add some up here as well. Okay, and now I'll go in with a few of these other rocks and we'll turn on Align to Surface. This is where we can kind of smooth out some of those bits that look really repetitive. Because these rocks will help with that. These little rocks too. Let's try and stick with the bigger rocks so we can fill up more space quicker. I think this show's going on right now. See, look how cool that is. It's like they're both giving a show. But it's like theoretically like one big show. Throw that in there. There we go. This is looking really good. Throw this rock in there. Maybe over here. Rock work is one of those things that people either absolutely love or they absolutely hate. And I'm kind of neutral about it. It's one of those things that like, it's annoying because you have to like just do it, but after you do it, it looks really good. So it's like, let me just get it over with kind of thing. Let me kind of sink something in here to give us some variability. Put something like there. Let me actually turn off Align to Surface. Grab this rock and I want to sink it into just like that. That looks pretty okay. Because we'll be adding foliage and stuff like that, and that will help. Sink this in there. Let's grab some rocks and kind of fill in these gaps now. Let's get this one in here. Nice. Just kind of gotta fill all this in. And I'm not sure whether or not I should use like fall colored trees, because they do have them in the game, but I never really use them. But the areas of the park that I was looking at that these deer are from had a lot of like orange trees. So I'm not sure if I should include those in the habitat or not. Let me sink this to go, yeah, there. I think that looks pretty good. Right here looks a little bit annoying, so I might throw a couple of rocks in there. Grab some of the big ones. I'll throw some in like that. Yeah. That looks pretty cool so far. I think what we can do is probably duplicate a bunch of this now. Is any of this in a building? Of course not. So let me select all these rocks. We're gonna put them all in one big building together, and that will allow us to like duplicate some areas. We deselect all that. Whatever. Just deselect this building. And we'll make all that one big building. There we go. And we can select like all that now. And duplicate, and we can come over here and put it like over here, and this should save some time. We'll go like in there. I'm gonna come up like that. There we go. Definitely speeds up the process. Not sure why guests are so obsessed with standing right there, but move this one kind of in there. And then for this big wall, you can come over here and select like this piece. Pause the game. Just kind of help us move faster. So let me grab all that. We can bring that all kind of over here. Like there. Kind of sink it down. Do something like that. And they should be able to like walk across that. You rotate this like this. We'll do that, and then we can move this rock sort of in here. And so the animal should be able to walk across that surface, which would be kind of cool. And then we can duplicate some of that. To the mountain there. Nice. And then maybe we can grab some like this and just duplicate it on the top there. Something like that. That looks pretty cool. I mean, maybe some of these rocks need to kind of scoot in, because they just kind of look like boulders. Let's grab like all these ones. Kind of scoot them into the cliff, because I want it to be more like a cliff, not like a pile of rubble. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And we'll add trees and stuff down there, and they should still be able to walk through there. They should be. And then for this wall here, I'm gonna select all of this. Come around over here. Sort of sink that in right about there. And that works pretty well. And then some of these other areas we might not need to actually put too much rock because we can actually kind of just incorporate some of the actual rock terrain paint. But I am just gonna put a few pieces in like this. Like that. Huh?
There was another mat.
Yeah, I know. Sink that in there. There we go. Sink that in like that. And rotate this down a little bit. There we go. So I think that's pretty cool. We should be able to just get away with that many rocks because we're also going to have tons of trees. We might need to put some rocks out there actually, but we can actually just grab most of this down here. Actually duplicate probably all that. Fill it in up here. I'm probably going to want to put some snow rocks in there. Get rid of these. And those are fine, I think. Get rid of these. Yes. And then let's go in with the terrain painting. And we're going to kind of rock up some of this. Like that. You don't want to mess with that, don't want to mess with the snow too much. I'm just going to kind of drag this along kind of softly. Kind of paint the edges. Kind of help blend the rock in a little bit. Like that. Maybe a little bit of painting over here. Yes. And then I think we can get away with kind of placing trees and bushes now for the rest. So let's go into nature. And we'll do bushes first. So we're in taiga. We also want to specify it's North American taiga. Okay, so what bushes do we have to work with? We want some nice big bushes, not much. We have the white sage bush, which I think this is a nice big one. And what we can do, so we'll do align to surface. I'm just going to kind of squeeze some of these into like these places here where we can actually see the rocks. Like this. And that will kind of help with the blending a little bit. Put some along the edge here. Something like that, just a little simple. Like that. And then I thought we had that one big, like, yeah, we can probably plop some of these in. Just kind of placing those in kind of generously. I want to make sure that it's on the ground though. Like that. Strawberry bush, no. Cow, no, we don't need that. Okay, so let's do some trees now. So we'll start with the spruce tree. We'll put a couple of these bigger ones in, and I'm actually going to turn off align to surface. We want these to be flat, and I'm just going to put a couple since these ones are a bit larger. And then we'll go in with some of the smaller, skinnier ones, making sure we're not blocking off traversable areas. Put one maybe over here, down there. Okay, and then we have some of the really small ones. I put a couple like here, like that. Then we have some Douglas firs, which we can put a couple around like this. And we have the nice tall ones. Well, these are actually not the tall ones, these are the... I'm gonna put a bunch sort of down here towards the bottom. We can put one over here. Here and stuff. Then we have the really tall ones, which we can put maybe a couple at these higher elevations. We have the Christmas tree. Then we have the red cedar. So these ones are quite large. I'd probably only put like one there and maybe one like, let's grab a different shaped one. Over there, just because they are very big. Something like that. And then we have our regular cedars. Which these we might be able to put one like here. Maybe like over here. Squeeze those into a few places. Don't want to block off traversability, so I'm kind of trying to be a little nitpicky. We can put one there. So I think that looks pretty good. If I turn off group mode, so now we have this habitat working over here. And we can select one of our deer. And let's check traversability, just to make sure they're still able to kind of get around. So if we look at the habitat, we gotta wait for it to update. So yeah, they can get over there a little bit. They can still get up to this big flat area. They can walk up and across these trails and down there. And so yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's perfect. So that way we know they can still kind of run around and hang out, and they're probably going to enjoy that a lot. Now what we can do is let's see if we have any research. Nice. Oh cool, badgers are completely researched. Perfect. So what we can do now is go into this habitat, which we have to click the door. And we can select our animals and make sure our badgers are getting quality 3 food. And our deer, we can probably go up to quality 2 for now. Perfect. And now we just need to get some toys and things in here for them to play with so they can get a little bit of enrichment. So we're going to, we have both of them selected. Food, we have most of the food sort of down here, just generic feeding. Bed and shelters, we have that. So what we're going to do is mostly focus on the toys out there. Let's still get food enrichment. What is this? Scarecrow feeder. This is new. An animal has escaped. That little sneaky bastard! Look at him! He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Was I not allowed to walk out here? It was a perfectly flat open area. No gates. I forgot to even check. Let's do emergency capture, please. I totally forgot to check the traversability of our badgers. Which the one spot that the badgers can escape, this little guy was like, I'm out. So what we need to do to stop that from happening...
Goodbye.
Basically. He's like, see you later. See you around. So, I'm just gonna raise this up a bit. And that should stop them from being able to jump down there now. So let me play the game. Yeah, he's gonna be captured. Yep. Crisis averted. Can I select him still? No, we have to wait for somebody to come get him. Can somebody come grab him, please? I don't know where my employees are. There is an animal completely loose. And they're like, I'll be there when I have time. I'll be there when I'm free. I'm busy. Look at these guys over here having like a... Oh, they're eating. Let me just go ahead and grab one of my employees and just throw them over here. Oh, here he comes running. I need this badger to check the traversability. I need him to be released, but I can't use him unless he's been released. There you go. Let's put him back in there. And we'll grab you. And we will check your traversability. Can you escape now? No. So now they can't escape. Perfect. So now what we can do is we'll go over to the quarantine, grab all of our little badgers that they've been working on. Let's see how they're doing. Is everybody sick? Everybody's healthy? Oh, everybody looks pretty healthy. What we need to do is put those 5 males on contraceptives before we have some baby badgers. So let me do them by sex. We'll select these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Oh, cool. We just need to select one. Sorry. I get them on contraceptives. Now what we need to do is we'll select all of these ones, which should be 11 of them. That's not what I wanted. We'll select this, select our badgers, and move them into our exhibit for them. So you guys can head up on over here. Phenomenal. And so what I think we'll do is, I don't think